Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital.
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the NFT Catcher Podcast, episode number 123. And I'm excited about this one. Today we have with us Colby from GetProtocol, which is an NFT ticket platform. And for those of you that listen to the show, will have heard this a million times, but understand why I wanted to have Colby on and talk about GetProtocol. I've been a ticket broker for 17 years. That's what I did before NFTs. So what's up, man? I'm happy to have you on and chat it up. There's a lot of cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Hey, Michael. Thanks very much for having us on. Big fan of the podcast. I have to say the hype track at the beginning has got me read up and ready to chat NFTs. So yeah, awesome stuff.
Shout out to It's Just Los. He made that at the very beginning, a year and a half ago. He made that track for us, and we love it. It's definitely gets us ready to go. Yeah, man. That's what's up. So I guess first, talk about yourself a little bit and GetProtocol, and then we'll get into NFT tickets and everything you guys have going on. But who are you? You do marketing and NFT strategy for them?
Yeah. So I basically kind of head up the NFT side of things, the post-event side of our NFT tickets. Basically stumbled into the role really just coming from a more traditional NFT, the cultural side of things. I originally stumbled into crypto in 2017. I was kind of always a fan of the sort of transparent side of things. I come from a programming background, so was always a bit hyped around the technology specifically. But one thing that really struck me, and this is funny because I actually discovered GetProtocol as a community member back in 2017. I was just doing a little bit of investing on the side while doing a programming job. And it was kind of in that age where everything was about, how many transactions per second something's doing, if it's 70,000 TPS, 150,000 TPS, everyone was just sort of throwing out buzzwords. And what really struck me about GetProtocol is it was just like a casual AMA that they were doing in a community channel. And it was just very grounded. It was, here's a problem in an industry that is in dire need of some change. Here's how blockchain can make this more transparent, and here's how we see things evolving, and here's what we want to do. So I kind of immediately became allured by the project and jumped on as a community member, and just kind of followed it as time went on and joined in and jumped onto the team about 2 years ago. And I essentially just head up the NFT side of things, on the marketing side as well. Just really, how can fans and how can artists connect with each other in deeper, more meaningful ways through Web3 and through NFT tickets? So yeah, it's a never-ending source of enjoyment because there's so much going on. It feels like the early internet boom in the sense of all the different Web3 platforms being built. And yeah, we see NFT tickets as a really accessible way to bring normal everyday people into the space. So that's me.
So when did GetProtocol actually fire up?
Yeah, so we're kind of dinosaurs in this space. Around 2016 was when the initial project fired up.
Wow.
It's good to know. So I think this gives a bit of context for listeners, but we basically started as a ticketing company called Guts Tickets in the Netherlands. The scope was essentially how can we kind of create something that's quite condensed and we can sort of bring it to market and make it something that everyone can kind of understand, So if you went to an event organizer and said, okay, you can use our ticketing infrastructure and there's a bit of blockchain attached to it, that's kind of how we started. And that was as Guts Tickets. And then we kind of realized as the year went on, well, hang on a second, this can be something that can become a protocol and be actually used by other ticketing companies. And that's how GetProtocol was started.
Okay, that's what's up. So I actually came into this one pretty raw. Normally I have like tons of research, tons of questions. I was on your website and I was looking, like watching the transactions. I want to ask you about some of them and kind of what the tickets are. But so one of the NFT ticketing companies that a lot of people know and use is Token Proof, and they do like kind of the token gated events. What is the difference with you guys and them? Do you do that as well? Or what particularly do you guys offer in tickets?
Yeah, so we've kind of approached it from the Web 2 angle onwards, really, not from the Web 3 side. So what we really wanted to do, first and foremost, is appeal to the mainstream events industry. So, whether it's yourself or your grandma, you can attend an event, enjoy, and actually benefit from NFTs in the background. So I'd say the immediate sort of difference between Token Proof, and I love what those guys are doing, by the way, is we've kind of just built a whole ticketing infrastructure. So it's not just the sort of verification and validation of a ticket, but it's, the real-time analytics, it's reporting, it's, all of the things that an event organizer kind of needs. And we've sort of packaged that up into a white label infrastructure that a ticketeer or an artist themselves could basically replicate in their own branding and kind of use that in their local market. So that's kind of like what makes us unique, I'd say. It's kind of Web 2.5, even though I think that term has quickly become a bit cliche, but it was kind of what the plan was, right? And yeah, I'd say that's the difference. I think it's good to give a bit of context. What we've basically done is we've kind of got like the three parts of the business. So we have Guts Tickets, as we mentioned, which is still operating in the Netherlands. And that's our ticketing company. It's basically our showcase. It's the experimental branch of it where we can really apply it to a specific use case. So, for example, Met Amsterdam last year, which was quite a big Web3 conference. We did the ticketing through Guts Tickets, and that kind of allows us to innovate and also keep the pulse on what the events industry is thinking. And then we've got a white label, which is, again, like all of that Guts Tickets tech that we've basically bundled together so other ticketeers can use it.
What's it? Guts Tickets? G-U-T-S?
Yeah, Guts, G-U-T-S. Yeah. You need guts to sell tickets.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I'm going to check that out too. I'm like really, and I try and keep my ear to the ground on everything happening with NFT tickets. That was my bread and butter. I know a lot of people in the industry still. Like I've been keeping my eye a lot on what Live Nation is doing. They went to the Flow blockchain. I think you guys are on Polygon, right?
We're on Polygon.
I think they're doing something sounds like pretty similar to what you are.
Yeah, they're doing ticket stubs. So you basically get
so far, but they have something coming down the path to on Flow. The ticket stubs they did, and they did millions of those.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you could talk about it. You probably know more than me, so I'd love to hear.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so exactly. They've done a couple million on Flow as the ticket stubs. I think they do have other ambitions, as you mentioned. Yeah. We operate on Polygon, so every single ticket that's sold by a ticketing partner is immediately minted on Polygon as an NFT. The way the interaction works is if I'm an attendee and I'm buying my ticket, I just purchase it with fiat currency, local fiat currency, so US dollars, euros. But actually in the background, it's minted as the NFT the second I purchase it. What that allows is if you do want to, obviously not everyone's going to be interested in this, but you can actually track that transparently. So you can turn on the feature and go, okay, I'd like to see the life cycle of my ticket in real time. So that's all on chain. We've got a explorer.get-protocol. And that's all real. Yep. Yeah, it's all real-time analytics, which is super cool. It's like, so I even though I work for the company, I think there's not a Monday that goes by where I'm like, okay, let's just check what's happened here, and you'll have like a piano duel in Baltimore, and then you'll have a meet and greet in Australia. It's honestly incredible to see it all flowing in real time. So yeah, that's the Explorer. But yeah, I think what we're really trying to do is bridge the Web3 technology in sort of incremental steps to kind of fit it to where the market needs it. So in the beginning, it was literally all under the surface. When we first launched, it was let's mint the tickets. They'll be there in the background transparently, and people can reference that if they want to, but that's it. Then we sort of did it so you can claim the NFT. So it was really, really, really poor in the beginning. It was like you enter your collectible address and then you don't hear anything, you don't see anything, and then you go to the event. And then what we basically did is we've now allowed it so you enter a collectible address, you receive the collectible before you actually go into the event. But the nice thing is it's a proof of attendance because the NFT is actually locked to that wallet until the ticket is scanned. So you have to verify the ticket and actually attend the event in order to trade and transfer the NFT.
So you don't allow people to sell it beforehand?
Yeah, exactly. I think it really arose where we actually had an event where someone was buying the NFTs to have the NFT and not attend the event.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's a really interesting dynamic. It never happened before and it took us by surprise. But we really thought, okay, maybe this is our opportunity to create a proof of attendance where you actually create like a further step where the artist knows that that NFT holder at that time of the event has attended. And then you can do all kinds of cool stuff like during and post event. You know, it could be access to a community hub, access to future ticket sales, to merchandise discounts, to even metaverse environments. You know, it creates this sort of wealth of opportunities that we're only just exploring the surface of. So yeah, that's kind of where we are now.
That's interesting. There's actually some legal implications in the US with respect to not allowing people to. Are you guys familiar with any of that? There were like lawsuits. I know New York State, like you have to be able to transfer your tickets.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You can actually transfer the ticket. You just can't transfer the NFT. So the way it works is until you actually attend the event, you're able to transfer the tickets on a built-in secondary market. But when you transfer that ticket in the background, the NFT is actually moved to another wallet, to the other user's wallet, through on a smart contract level. So it's it's been a quite unique way of bridging it, really, in a way that, you know, as does sort of conform to legal standards.
Right. Okay. So the NFT stays in the original wallet. I'm sorry. I just want to kind of get it to see what everyone's doing. You can sell the ticket on your secondary market. You guys have a secondary market, or you can sell it on OpenSea because it's Polygon.
Yeah. So so basically before someone goes into the event, it's kind of in a Web 2 format in the sense that you're trading your tickets on a built-in primary and secondary market. The nice thing about that built-in secondary market is it allows the event organizer, the promoter, etc., to actually retain the secondary market revenue. So the way it works is basically built in. You still know exactly which customers have bought a ticket on a secondary market, and you also still retain part of that revenue share.
That's exactly why Live Nation's coming in. That's exactly why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, and precisely, and that's where we see like the industry evolving, and we've taken pride of sort of trying to be always ahead of the curve. And I think, you know, a big question we get asked these days is what does separate us from Ticketmaster? You know, if Ticketmaster builds in a secondary, if Ticketmaster does these NFT stubs and perhaps more. And I think that the big thing there and the thing we've been piloting now is actually decentralized event financing. So that which is probably a crazy term in its own right, but effectively all it is an event organizer or a promoter, whatever the structure is, they need to raise capital to fund their event. The problem is, in order to most event organizers have to sell tickets in order to raise funds to, you know, fund their event. Therefore, there's kind of that odd window of time where you have to book things and then you have to sell your tickets, and before that happens, you've got no cash flow. So what we've actually done is we're able to mint the NFTs beforehand, like bundle them up in a smart contract, lock them. And this is not, they're not being sold to attendees at this point. This is before that. They're bundled up in a smart contract. And then DeFi, investors can actually provide capital. They can assess the risk and go, okay, this is a legitimate event organizer. They've got transparent tickets on chain, like a history. We know, okay, this is probably this amount of demand that's going to be for this event. They can actually provide the capital up front, and then, then the artist and the event organizer can fund the event. And then what happens is when the tickets are sold to attendees, that revenue actually goes back to the DeFi investors, and they're the first ones who get their hands on the revenue because of the fact it's all done through smart contracts. So we think it's a pretty big game changer in terms of just being able to finance events outside of the traditional model. That is interesting. What are some of the larger events you guys have done that with? Because I know you can't do that with like a piano bar in Baltimore, but you can do it with like a music festival, I presume. Like, what are some of the ones you've worked with? So we're really in the early piloting stages, but one we have done it with is Lewis Capaldi, who's a British singer. He is doing an event in August in Iceland. So he basically needed to raise an amount over 100K. And then what we were able to do is actually bundle those tickets and then get DeFi investments to actually fund the event. And then effectively what happened is that I think it was 20% of the initial tickets that were sold basically returned that upfront capital. And the rest of that ticket sale then, of course, flowed naturally back to the event organizer and the promoter.
That's neat. Yeah, it's definitely a neat option. Who are you guys like shooting for? What kind of events are your favorite to do? Like, what do you guys?
It's mainly the event, just non-general admission music events. Primarily is the
You
big
said
one.
non-general admission or general?
Sorry,
admission?
just general admission.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, general admission. We do have ambitions, obviously. Well, the main overall ambition is to become a global data standard, right? Where every ticketer, large or small, can plug into and basically benefit from Web3 and NFTs. But yeah, for now, it's like the music industry, a bit of the sports industry, theaters, that kind of stuff. And we've done 3.3 million NFT tickets to date, with about 18 ticketing partners around the world.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. So so NFT ticketing in general, I mean, what do you see as like the biggest benefits? Like I look a lot of stuff like, rewarding your early holders, and a lot of them are going to become valuable. If you had, tickets to some early concert of somebody, that should become valuable, making a market out of it. What do you look at? What do you think the future looks like?
Yeah. So as a sort of NFT degen and kind of Web3 believer, the big part for me is creating actual communities where it's not a single relationship, like it's a mutualistic relationship. I think the way that the artists and fans interact right now is just so limited. It's usually an email that gets sent to your inbox. It's one way. It goes in the spam. You don't really react to it. Okay, you get your ticket. Great. What I think NFTs offer is the ability post-event to actually engage with a global audience across multiple platforms. The big thing for me, and the big problem, I think a lot of artists struggle with this right now, is being able to actually get in front of fans is difficult. Whether it's Instagram, whatever platform you use, it's all siloed, so you're kind of fighting the algorithm. You're siloed to a single platform, so you can't actually transport your community off of it. With NFTs, the NFT is the community. So as you said, like if you go to my first event, I'll always have a reference to you. If it's only 100 people that went to my first event, and 10 years down the line, I'm sort of selling an arena tour, then it's kind of a magical thing, being able to actually go, okay, those 100 people may get a 20% discount lifetime over the rest of my events. So lots of post-event stuff there.
That's awesome. No, that is really interesting stuff. I'm sorry, we just had an interruption. So we're recording today in the afternoon. Normally we record at nighttime. And I have my son, Edward, here, who's been begging me for a long time to come on and say a little something on the podcast. Now he's getting shy, but let's see what happens. So we're recording in the afternoon. So I told him to come in, if you don't mind.
It's all good with me.
What's up, Edward? What do you want to say to everybody?
Hey, Edward.
What'd you say? Colby, he's calling you out.
He's calling me out.
Yeah, he's saying what's up. That's my boy, Edward, right here. If you want to say anything else before you go, we only got 10 more seconds and you got to go. What's your favorite dance? Fortnite dance. I thought it was the gritty. It was? Yeah. All right. Go out back inside. Go beat your sisters. Thanks, buddy. Very nice. All right, I'm back. That was Edward. Everyone's heard about Edward before, and that is Edward. I gave him a minute, and now he's banging on my door, but everything is good now. All right.
A minute in the starlight.
We're back. So you mentioned you're an NFT degen. I want to let's get into that a little bit. How did you learn about NFTs?
Ooh. Yeah, good question. What was my first introduction to NFTs? Oh, I think, honestly, I don't actually remember the first introduction, but what I think really appealed to me was Woody's, actually. I don't know if you've heard about Woody's.
I remember Woody's. Woody's at the first NFT NYC, like whatever it was, November 2021, where they had like trucks going around. That's all I know about it. That's all I know about it.
Yeah, it's effectively what it is it's all about regeneration, about sustainability, about sort of fostering a community, local community using sustainable practices and just really coming together to celebrate nature effectively. But I think what really got to me was the fact that it was a very, very clear targeted niche of people that came together. And it was this ability to get 10,000 people around the world to come together for a specific cultural need And that to me is what NFTs are. I think when you look at the grand scale, say you look at the Bored Apes or whatever it may be, CryptoPunks, they're all sort of sub niches. They're all like cultures in a way, microcosms, and every single project has their own little identity. And I think really all you see there is basically how much do you want to be a part of that identity? How much does it appeal to you? How much do you actually feel like you belong in that identity? Whereas I think some people focus on prices and the imagery. And I don't get me wrong, I love the imagery for a lot of projects, but I think really it's about those 10,000 individual people globally that can all connect, and the NFT becomes that sticky sort of resin that holds it all together. Yeah, so that was my first introduction, and then I just became like fascinated by Dead Fellas, Doodles, all of the kind of big projects, but also some small ones. Like Based AF, Robin Schmidt from The Defiant. I really just love people who want to change the mold, break the mold. Like he ran a metaverse ultra marathon, and basically like celebrating the ability for the metaverse to do good. And he raised 100,000 for Great Ormond Street Hospital in the UK. So yeah, I just love how like you see so many of these NFT projects that bring people together to do good. And I think that's what really allured me to it.
All right. So you found out about Woody's. I guess that was that like mid 2021? When were they doing their thing?
Yeah, early to mid 2021, indeed. Okay. Yeah.
And what else have you like bought into? Have you made like some good moves in NFTs, or just kind of bought and hold a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, I made some good moves with the early Doodles movement. Stumbled into that. I remember when on the mint day, just jumping into it. And I think, what appealed to me was Burnt Toast. I kind of liked the fact that he already had credibility. He created great animated content before. So that made sense to me. And I think the idea of a sort of Web3 Disney is such a strong narrative that it appealed to me from the beginning. But yeah, in terms of other moves, to be honest, nowadays, what I really spend my time around in terms of the NFT degenerate side is actually the sort of platforms, what is out there, what are the mechanics behind it? Like if you just look at like Jack Butcher's checks, and the way that the burn mechanisms happen, kind of fascinated by the scarcity mechanics, the collectability mechanics. And then I try to think about how we can apply it with NFT tickets to bring people in and to really engage them. And that, it's kind of how I bring it full circle.
Yeah, that is cool. What platforms impress you?
So I think immediately Bonfire is one that really impresses me. Okay. And it's, it's nothing crazy. Like it's not like a unique, specific functionality. It's more of just, let's build a community hub. Let's make it drag and drop. Let's make it Web3 gateable from the get-go and make it accessible. And I think what I like about it is the fact that I can go to any artist. I can go to any, anyone who hasn't even thought about Web3, and they understand the ability to create pages, community pages, and gate them based on what collectibles you have. So that platform I really like. I also really like just metaverse platforms, Spatial, the Sandbox, Decentraland, although I do find, I think, the Spatial and the Sandbox are the ones that resonate the most with people I talk to, just in terms of possibilities. But yeah, those two as well.
Yeah. I know when I first got into NFTs, and for a lot of 2021, it was all about Decentraland, CryptoVoxel, Sandbox. And sometimes I wonder if those companies were just so early, but not quite there, or maybe they're going to have a V2. Like, I don't know. Sandbox there's possibilities, but the graphics aren't really that great, right? It's just kind of.
Yeah, no, I definitely get where you're coming from, for sure. I think the one thing Sandbox has going for it is it can be comparable to Minecraft. And when people think Minecraft plus interoperability of NFTs,
yeah, I hear that.
I think there's value there. But yeah, I also think you're right. I think a lot of early projects don't necessarily need to be the ones that actually just last the test of time. I think in reality, the GameFi ecosystem is only.
Like I haven't heard CryptoVoxels in months. Like no one's even mentioned that word, and that was like one of the biggest things coming up.
Yeah, yeah. CryptoVoxels felt very sort of counterculture, though, right? Almost like you've got to be in on it, and if you don't know about it, then what are you doing? Yeah. So perhaps it's something to do with that. But yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
right. It's yeah, but you know, I think when you look at GameFi now, for example, it's now only blossoming in terms of like actual robust games being built. But I still think the problem there is that a lot of the actual economies of these games are yet to be tested and still need to be battle proofed. Like the sort of GameFi proof. What's the terminology? Play to earn, right?
Right.
The play to earn economics, I think, kind of need to be tested more, just purely because I think the problem is when you make something about the monetary side of it, everyone will naturally maximize to make more money. It's just very difficult to hit that sweet spot of I really enjoy this game and I'm making a bit of money, but okay, yeah, sure, I'm not like just having the worst time but trying to make the most money possible. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, but
No, those are really good points. And I mean, NFT gaming fascinates me. I'm not an expert. I don't play games. My kids do. My boy who was just here is into Fortnite. And like I see he wants me to buy stuff all the time, but he doesn't own it. Like I get that whole part of it. I really do believe there's somebody who's gonna come and knock it out of the park sometime soon. I don't know who it is. I've said before, hopefully it's other side for my own selfish reasons, but somebody will knock it out of the park and we'll all be like, oh yeah, that's how you do it. And I don't know who it is or what it is, but it's going to be massive. It's going to be billions and billions of dollars when somebody figures it out.
Oh, 100%. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And another thing I really hope we get is just more interoperability moments. Like I really want that moment where, you know, one NFT becomes X in one game, Y in the other, Z in the other, you know?
Right. Sure. I mean, it'd be really nice. Like I thought about that too. Like if I was to play video games, I would like to be my Bored Ape in every single game. I'd like to be my Bored Ape, be a quarterback in Madden. You know what I mean? Like totally. That'd be amazing. And could be people would like that to be able to bring their character wherever. Blockchain has. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was just going to say, I think it's a great way of bootstrapping an ecosystem as well. Like if you incorporate an NFT, you've just incorporated 10,000 people who can potentially play your game and probably want to because of the fact, you know, they can play their asset inside of your ecosystem.
They'll certainly at least try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Madden should do right away. They should just be like, bring your avatars and we'll put them on the field. Like that'd be sick.
Yeah. I mean, it's also so like going back to the digital twin, that one of the sort of base NFT layers that we offer. I mean, what really excites me there is it's the ability. So effectively what the digital twin is, it allows an existing ticketeer to twin their tickets as NFTs. So the existing ticket is still used to enter the event, but it also comes with an NFT copy that a person can actually get access to. Okay. So for you know, for an existing ticketeer who's perhaps been in the business 20, 30 years, you have all of that kind of legacy stack that if you were to go, oh, do you want to just use a white label full infrastructure? They're going to look at you going, what the heck, you know, get out of our building, please. That's why we kind of create this digital twin where they can just plug it in and basically pass ticket data through the API, mint it on the protocol, and then everyone gets access to an NFT. And I just think, imagine, imagine like a football stadium where everyone gets a couple of trading cards or, you know, a highlight gameplay. I think, you know, if you take, for example, So Rare, where it's kind of, I'm not sure if you're aware, but yeah, like digital trading cards. I just think, imagine if you could drop a couple of those to every ticket holder, right? And I think that's the potential of millions of people basically being able to get their hands on collectibles.
Nice. I got to give you a shout out for that awesome pivot back to GetProtocol. I was talking about all different kinds of stuff, and you brought your bosses are going to love that. That was very good. That was very, very good.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
that.
Yeah,
man. No doubt. What are your guys' tickets? Do you guys do like barcodes, rotating barcodes, paper tickets?
Rotating QR codes. Sorry.
That's what I meant. QR codes. Yeah. Rotating QR codes. That's what's up.
Yeah. And it's basically tied to a mobile number as well. So if someone enters their mobile number, it basically ties that rotating QR code to that. So you have the sort of double validity.
Cool. Yeah, rotating QR, it's big pain in the butt for people like me, for ticket brokers. When that started coming out, that was something.
Yeah.
The smart though needed to be done.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because you also like we get one of these questions where it's like, if I buy a ticket and there's a built-in secondary market, should I be able to sell my ticket with the same priority as the primary sale? So say a primary sale isn't fully sold out, and I bought a ticket, should I be able
you
to
don't want someone undercutting the GAs.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
right,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, and we want to try and balance it as much as possible, where a fan can trade their ticket as easily as possible, but at the same time, if the event organizer hasn't sold out their tickets, and we go, oh, okay, this fan sold the ticket before you did, then it creates a problem. So it is a bit of a
problem. Yeah, it can create a problem for sure. It also is like, if you're looking for the actual market, sometimes the price does go down. Like, we have all these giant amphitheaters around the country, and they sell big giant lawns, 20,000 person lawns. And sometimes those tickets are going for $5 before they sell out, just because it is what it is. Very interesting talking about NFT tickets. What else do you want to bring up about? Because I wanted to talk about the different tickets I was seeing coming through. But what else do you want to bring up about what you guys do, what you guys are trying to build, who you want to reach out to? Like, what else you want to talk about? And I'm going to find what I was looking for.
Yeah, perhaps we can chat about how we fuel these tickets. Like, so we have actual on-chain token economics for all of these tickets, which is where it kind of gets a little bit spicy, because effectively what we've done is built a system where ticketing partners that use our tech actually top up Get tokens, which is an ERC20 token. They just do it before they sell tickets. So before they sell tickets, they use a fiat gateway. They pay in US dollars, but then it basically swaps that into Get. And then Get is effectively the fuel for every ticket. So every single time a ticket is purchased, there's a little bit of Get that's used in the background to fuel that ticket through its life cycle. What's pretty cool about that is using, and one of the big benefits of cryptocurrencies, of course, is a global payment rails, right? So if there's a ticketeer in Mexico and if there's a ticketeer in Austria, they can pay the same price, have the same on-chain accounting through the Get token. And the attendee doesn't need to know about the Get token, because they basically just pay for their ticket with fiat currency, all the while, it's being fueled by a token. And we just actually launched a staking platform called staking.get-protocol. And that basically allows Get token holders, so our community, to receive actual rewards from tickets being sold around the world. So, when a ticket's being sold for a nightclub in the UK, the Get token holders are receiving rewards from that, which we think is like just such a cool real world yield system in place.
Cool. Wow. The Get token went up to $9 for a spike in March 2021 when that, oh man, look at that spike. You guys must have been going crazy. I was probably right before you came, though. The people there must have been going crazy.
Yeah, I was just joining around then. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a party right there. Because I have to look at it more. I don't know how many are there total? 11 million supply. Pretty cool.
Yeah, right, it's 23 million in total. And there's around 17 million in circulation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Pretty interesting. It's on upswing today.
Yeah. And our staking platform actually, so on Monday, that's when all the rewards kick in. And kind of how the platform goes fully live.
Okay.
But it's all sort of tied to this. So we have this ticketing revolution DAO. So the long-term goal effectively is to have a DAO where it can become an events industry hive mind, right? Where whether you're a ticketeer or an artist or an event organizer, you can get involved and actually make decisions that impact, what the protocol is building.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of the long-term future.
Pretty interesting stuff, man. I honestly don't. So I'm looking at a ticket. So I pulled up one that just sold a minute ago. What is ticket life cycle? They all say life cycle.
Yeah, the life cycle is effectively tracking the different state that the ticket is in. So there's about 5 different life cycle states. There's sold, resold, scanned, checked in, and invalidated. And basically, the life cycle just tells you at what point in the life cycle the ticket is in.
Because it doesn't tell me what it just says ticket life cycle. It doesn't tell me what stage it's in
on a specific ticket, right? Okay.
Yeah. And then it says issued by OnTap. I guess that's the company
Right.
putting on whatever this event is. Sold
Right.
for $4.21, tenth of a get used.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're
Yeah,
awaiting
so
check-in.
what happens effectively is when a new part of the ticket life cycle happens, just below where it says sold, you'll actually see, resold or scanned or checked in.
Okay.
So this ticket is just being issued by OnTap. And OnTap are a partner that we have in Nottingham in the UK. So they do student events, nightclub events, and also like kids playground ticketing. So it's quite exciting seeing those come in.
Well, and you're based in Amsterdam. You guys are all in the Netherlands?
Yeah, primarily we're about 55 people or so, but we do have a protocol team that's kind of spread around the world, which does make for fun challenges sometimes. Getting everyone jumping in on a call, but yeah, it's quite fun. Yeah,
I've been to the Netherlands twice. I'm a huge fan. Amsterdam, obviously,
Nice.
Rotterdam. I was first there in 2001 for a music festival called Jammin' in the Dam at the Melkweg.
Oh, at the Melkweg. Nice.
Yeah, is it Melkweg?
Yeah.
What is it? Melkweg?
Milky Way. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a cool venue right in the heart of the city. It's a little spa, couple rooms. It was the Disco Biscuits and Keller Williams and Particle and Humphreys McGee.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds nostalgic. I wish there was a collectible from that event.
I know. Oh man, if I had collectibles from I went to the first Bonnaroo. I was at the Fish Millennium in the Everglades. I got all that stuff. It'd be all. I mean, I think I have some of the tickets somewhere, but it would be awesome to have digital memories of that. And some of that's probably not worth anything really, but some of the stuff I went to certainly would be. I've been to Eagles NFC Championship games, and I was at the 4th and 27 game. Do you know about the Philadelphia Eagles? You probably don't know anything about.
Not the Eagles. I know the 76ers. I'm a bit of a basketball guy.
All right, cool. But, yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid. No, the Eagles just lost the Super Bowl. I've been talking about that a bunch on the podcast. The green, if you look at the NFT catcher logo, the green is literally the old school Philadelphia Eagles green. So that's how we got that. Yeah,
like to the hex code, right?
Yep, Kelly Green to the hex code. Exactly.
Sick.
That's how we branded. I know. I was very happy when we made that happen.
Yeah.
But
it's a good tribute. Yeah.
Yeah. Not too bad. But no, I love Amsterdam and for the cold, not just the weed is great, but for the culture, like one thing that really blew me away was Rembrandt's Night Watch and seeing that, like actually seeing that in person. Cause most paintings you see, they're not quite so big. That one is gigantic. And they say that he cut it because he didn't like it. And it was even bigger originally than it is now. It's like this, like 10 feet by 15 feet. I don't even remember, but like
it's astonishing, isn't it? And what's crazy, apparently, like there was some kind of I could be getting this wrong, but I believe it was repaired, and they may have used some kind of like robot, like 3D printer thing to actually do some of the reparations of that painting. Yeah. I could only imagine the stress though if I built a robot that had to repair one of the most...
Rembrandt. Yeah. Like that was, I remember like that's in the Rijksmuseum, and it was just I just remember it just being really impressive. Like of all the art I've seen around the world, I mean, like Garden of Earthly Delights at the Prada in Madrid is one that blew me away, and that one certainly did. Going to Amsterdam, there is, I mean, just walking around and biking around and riding on the canals, like it's an awesome world-class city, like it really is. And you could go and you can smoke a bunch of weed too. Like that's a nice little, people like that. But I think you guys are trying to cut down on the tourists doing that, aren't you? Isn't there like...
Yeah, there are some stuff happening. So I only moved over here actually last year. So I'm kind of still really immersing myself in the city.
Where were you? Where are you originally from?
From Wales in the UK.
Okay,
so
for sure.
Close to Cardiff. So not too far away, but yeah,
that's a nice little move. That's not bad.
Yeah, to be honest, it was mainly just to be closer to the guys at the office. It's just you want to be involved in the kind of the mission control.
No doubt. No, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah. I respect that. That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up. Cool. Well, I don't have too much more to chat about this. If you have any, what I usually ask people, I'll give you a chance. Do you have any artists that you would like to shout out? Because I have one that I meant to on Monday and I forgot to, so I got to hook them up. But I usually give people a chance to shout out any independent artists that they really like, people they think should be getting a little shine. So if you got anybody, feel free.
I have one in mind. And
Nice.
I've been wanting to shout this guy out from the rooftops. I think he's incredible. His name is Ben Salvare, so Salvare. But he actually creates this. It's sort of a long meta collection of Pidgeys, so pigeons, called the Spy Pidgeys Yacht Club, Yob Squab. But what I really like about him is he's actually like a traditional artist. Like he does incredible sort of graphite designs, but then he's also got this really sort of retro pop Pidgeys collection. And I think really that the effort that he puts into actually developing his collections and fostering his community, it's been incredible. And I know that, I think it can be frustrating at times being an artist like him, and not really getting a crazy amount of recollection, even though he fully deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my pick. I think if you are interested in an artist who does everything, a bit of everything, digital, graphite, prints, then yeah, he's the guy. He also created his own statues, little pigeon statues, which are pretty cool.
I love that. It's at the Salvar. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Salvare at the Salvar on Twitter. Does really cool stuff. That's a great shout out. Mine is my buddy Kyle Confer. I've known him for a long time. He's actually a muralist in Philadelphia and does all kinds of really cool stuff. But before the Super Bowl last week, he put out a free edition on Manifold that was like representing the Eagles and taking down Kansas City. And sadly, we didn't win, but it was really cool. Kyle Confer, really good dude. I've known him for a long time in the space. Awesome artist. Philadelphia, does big giant murals and does all kinds of stuff. It's at KCONFEHR. Love for you to give Kyle a look and Ben as well. Those are two really good picks for some artists to check out. I love that.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll check out Kyle for sure.
Well, Colby, what a pleasure having you on. I'm absolutely going to keep my eye on what GetProtocol's doing. I'm going to take a deeper dive into guts tickets and everything you guys do just to really learn. It's a frontier, and hopefully you guys are the ones that make it click and do some awesome stuff. But it was a pleasure having you on. I'm glad you reached out. I'm glad we made it happen.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, Michael, thank you. It's a pleasure to jump on here. I love how you really make guests feel comfortable. So it was a pleasure.
No, I appreciate that a lot. I usually rely on Jennifer for that. She'll be back soon, so it'll be, I've been trying to do my best. This is, I think, like the 8th episode or so since she's been on her hiatus. Andy and I have been keeping it up. We love doing it. We get great feedback. Like I always say, I love all the messages. Our Discord's been popping a little bit. We have an NFT Catcher Discord with a great little community. So good stuff, man. That was very nice of you to say that, and I appreciate it. And everyone else, thank you so much for listening. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFT Catcher Pod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.